Topic jar.
Topic jar.
Should children be actors?
No. They're not allowed to be lead miners, so why should they be allowed to be actors? Probably safer to be a lead miner.
You know, I was actually babysitting at like 11.
Were they plying you with cocaine?
No.
Big difference then.
I asked them to. How in the world was a whole ass generation of 9 to 12-year-olds allowed to read Flowers in the Attic? I agree wholeheartedly with you.
What were our parents thinking about that, man? I even read it.
I read the whole series, and Cheese and Crackers, that is some crazy stuff.
Look,
it's some crazy stuff.
Trigger warning. They didn't have trigger warnings back then.
No, you have to, you just have to kind of dive in like as if you have to swim across cold, gray, stormy waters. It's crazy. Oh my.
What celebrity do you remember handing out big $1 million checks going door to door?
Ed McMahon.
Wrong. Watch this.
Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. And if you won, Ed McMahon came to your house with balloons and a big check and gave you a bunch of money. And now everyone in the world is trying to tell us that that never happened.
So you're telling me there was no Ed McMahon?
I remember Ed McMahon giving out those checks clearly.
I do too. Balloons.
We're
Confetti.
Wrong. All of Generation X is wrong.
Hey everyone, it's Howie from The Prize Patrol with a fun fact that may surprise you. Did you know that the late Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse?
CERN did it again. They smashed the atom and deleted Ed McMahon.
Hey-o!
You would actually walk up to people's doorsteps and give them the check?
Oh, yeah. It's a wonderful feeling, to give somebody $1 million.
Why do people keep sexing Spock up? 2-minute trailer. 3 Spock sex clips.
Would you say they were sex clips, though?
Yeah.
Were
they were
they?
effing and essing. Ellen and H'ing.
Perhaps we should kiss.
That seems logical.
In the 80s, a medical alert company aired a series of commercials depicting the elderly using their device to call for help. One of the women said, "I've fallen and I can't get up."
And I can't get up.
And an entire generation decided, yes, this is the comedy catchphrase for us.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yes, it's still funny. I don't know why. We liked laughing at the older generation when we were young, and now that we're old, do we regret it? Maybe. Not people falling down and getting hurt, and old people dying alone by themselves for days, starving to death, their own filth. Eventually, probably they die, and then their cats live off them, feasting for weeks to months. It's not funny. But it was just the way the lady said. Which is the better franchise, Star Wars or Star Trek?
For me, growing up, Star Wars was a big thing. It was a big deal. We went to the drive-in movie theater to go see Empire Strikes Back. I remember when the lunchboxes came out. I remember when, my neighbor, who I'd go over and play with all the time, had all the action figures. For me, I'm going to have to say, for nostalgia's sake, Star Wars.
I liked Star Wars, but you were a pretty and popular young woman, and I was a big fat nerd kid with a bunch of pimples. So me, it was Star Trek. They both kind of suck now. Probably Star Wars really sucks now.
But mostly Star Trek.
Tell us in the comments below who you think sucks more now, Star Wars or Star Trek.
No, just tell us who you like more.
Tell us who you like better.
Of my friend, I can only say this.
Subscribe.
Topic jar.
Is AI already conscious?
NASA.
Sure.
Elon Musk.
Heard of him?
The Association for Mathematical Consciousness in Science.
Am the president.
Those 3 entities have expressed concern about AI. And the fact that we don't know whether it's conscious or not, and neither do the creators of it, that's argument enough for me that we need a little bit more research before we unleash it.
I've seen Battlestar Galactica enough times to know be nice to machines. Pro Cylon. I want to say that right now.
On the record, pro machine.
Topic jar.
Topic jar.
Which version of Nintendo was the best?
Ooh. I would have to say the Cube. GameCube. Big fan.
What's your favorite GameCube game?
Paper Mario.
I'm going to have to go to 64 because I think the greatest video game of all time is Mario Kart 64.
64 was the Nintendo that we unwrapped several times before giving it to our daughters for Christmas.
Yeah,
secretly in the night to play. Topic jar, Dan. Topic jar. You ready? What if dogs had opposable thumbs?
Based on our dogs, I guess it'd be a little scary at first as we saw them walk to the fridge, open it up, screw open a jar of mayonnaise, get out a knife, pickle slice, etc. Ruby probably be downstairs getting cat turds, one in each hand, shoving them in her mouth like crazy. Overall, I don't think we'd be in any inherent danger other than calling us at work to bring home food, but eventually they'd be too fat to chase us or do any real harm.
Probably have a real big DoorDash bill.
Do you think they'd take over the world?
I think they'd probably get together enough to avoid a government shutdown.
Hey-o! What does the Fruit of the Loom logo look like? Now, I remember it like this.
The cornucopia.
I think I remembering this one wrong, but I do remember it with the cornucopia for sure.
I remember it too.
100%.
Yes, 1,000%.
Wrong.
This
It's a collection of fruit. No cornucopia. I know that can't be right.
That's not right.
No.
Because I remember the ads when they would come out and wasn't somebody dressed like the cornucopia?
I don't know about that, but I remember being
the guys?
fascinated by a kid. By that picture.
Yeah.
Fascinated, I tell you. That's all I think about. That cornucopia.
The Fruit of the Loom logo.
That'll do.
Gen Xers.
That'll do.